everyone, welcome to a new Express Flute Tips video. Today, as you have heard, I'm going to speak about the double tonguing, the double staccato. And I am doing this video because I think that this is something that all flute players at some point of the studies, we all struggle with that. And I'm just going to share some very concrete thoughts I have about it with you. I think that it's very important to achieve a way of doing it that it's leggiero, that it's not so heavy, and that it doesn't affect the sound. I have spoken about that in previous videos, but today I'm going to focus about some concrete things that I think that maybe can be helpful for people hearing and that you can maybe add into your daily practice routine. First of all, I think that it's quite important that everyone knows very precisely where is the contact point with the tongue. Because in my case, personally, it's something that I had to change somehow. When I was younger, I was used somehow to articulate a little bit too much in the front, very close to the teeth. So it was more, I was doing more a T, like T, more like that. And then I discovered that for the double tonguing, it was working better if I softened a little bit more this T and I converted it a little bit more in a R. So more, not so much, not so close to the teeth. This was something that changed immediately the way that I could focus the articulation or the tonguing into the sound. That was quite something, because I give you a little short demonstration. If I articulate a little bit too close to the teeth, it sounds like that. In my case, but if I go a little bit behind, then it's here I can control it. If I go a little bit too close to the teeth again, then it's too hard and I cannot, my lips or my embouchure cannot handle it, and then it's all out of control, okay? So maybe that's helpful for you as a first step. Then, I think that in order to practice double tonguing, there are two different worlds. First of them is the tongue itself. I think that we should have the tongue, we should practice the tongue alone, without the flute. It's something that I also discovered when I was a student. I should do it, for instance, when I was traveling in the bus, when I was in the underground, or when I was at home. I was all the time doing rhythms, really, like tan, taka, 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 tan, practicing the contact point that I spoke before, but then I was tan, taka, 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 tan, taka, 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 tan, taka, 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 tan, tan, taka, tan, taka, tan, taka, tan, taka, 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 tan, taka, 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 tan, taka, 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 tan, taka, 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 tan, or wherever. Or I was doing some rhythmical patterns and I was repeating that and trying to develop somehow to have it very internalized and to develop it in a way that I cannot think, that then later I don't have to think about that. That's a very, very important thing, because otherwise, if we are thinking the in that, we get slowed down, and then our concentration goes on that and doesn't go on other things. So it should totally be something internalized that we just don't think and we go. Okay. It can seem easy, but it takes time. We need to be patient and we need to be constant about that. It's just something that we need to train. At the beginning, we can try to have it also, I'm going to speak now to translate it to the flute also, not only without the flute, but even without the flute. I would recommend that you go with the air stream and a little bit slower, and you try to have it very equal. So it sounds da 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 da, and not da 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 like that, but da 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 da, okay? And then you try to add also the K, and then you try to have the two of them are kind of equal, they sound equal. So da ga 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 da. It's different when we play with the flute. Then we have to adapt, and our ears are the ones who are going to tell us. I really strongly recommend that we record ourselves, and then we can hear from outside what works and what works better, what works not so good, and etc. That's also crucial in that. But then if we can do it slow and we can make it sound equal slow, so I'm also alternate now doing ka 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 ra ka 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 ra 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 ka ra ka. You can also change from R or T to K, okay? Then eventually when it gets faster, somehow it's even more easy than slower, okay? And eventually you will practice that and you get to have it as fast as possible, okay? Then another thing that I think is quite important, the sound. As I was saying, I was trying to give the image with my right hand now that it's a long note. I spoke about that in other videos, that this is crucial, this is very important for me. We should have in mind always a picture that we're playing. And inside this natural feeling of development of the note, the development of not the ironing or not the going through the note, but the development of the note, with that feeling, I think it's very easy to place inside that the double tonguing, okay? That's quite easy as a feeling. I think it makes it a little bit easier. And then it's quite important to explore also what are the different contact points, but in the sound. I explain myself, I try to explain myself. It's not the same to do the double tonguing and to handle it in the embouchure and in the sound when we play like that. That when we do. So we have two different contact points in the embouchure, and then also we are changing slightly how we are articulating. Okay? Also very very clear for me it's in this register when we do this. Here. Now you can hear the difference, no, between a more softened version and the other more full. I think that's quite important. It helps me a lot to practice it with crescendos. And then I see very clearly that there is one contact point which is a little bit more up, more light, and then there's one other which is more deep. And then it helps me to get the different kind of sounds, okay? Anyway, it's something that we always need to keep investigating, because we find very very interesting things, I think, also for the sonority, but always keeping that in mind, that then we can do the articulation more clear if you want. But I don't think that it sounds clearer. I think that we can make it harder if you want, a little bit more hard. Then we can have this. But the feeling is exactly the same. I'm just making it a little bit harder with the tongue, more taka 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 taka. But the contact point and etc. and everything is the same. But it's not too close in the teeth, and it's under control with the sonority. I think those are the basic, for me, keys for the double tonguing practice. And then I really recommend you to go for it, to be patient, and to take it slow and late, and eventually it will really come. So go for it. Thanks a lot for watching the video, and see you next time. Ciao.